Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about urine therapy for a treatment for depression. Now we all can go through depression at any point in our life. You know, we're here to live and experience our journey in life, but sometimes we can't always escape the hardships that we can go through. My story was probably about maybe 10-15 years ago. I had severe depression. I was kicked out of England and thrown back into Australia. I'd lost all my friends. I'd lost my home. And I went through one massive trauma. And, you know, depression is usually triggered from some type of trauma, whether it be death or, you know, loss of things or work environment or so on. And I found it really, really difficult to get out of that dark space. So I really know how hard it was. I was finding myself that, you know, my moods had changed. I was very snappy and irritable, did a lot of yelling at the wrong people and the people who love you the most. Also, I spent most of the day sleeping. I could not move. I couldn't leave the house. I didn't want to, you know, do anything. So it was a very dark space and I did not know how to get out of that hole. It was like multitude of things just caving in on me. And, you know, a lot of the problems with depression is that it has this stigma that it's a sign of weakness, or, you know, as a male, you don't want to talk about your problems, and those sort of things get closed in and you can be in this really horrible space. You know, so basically it's a lot easier said than done to get out of depression because, you know, people say, oh, you know, just go out and have a good time or go out and exercise or, you know, do all these things. But you have to be really motivated to do that. And when you're in that dark space, that's one thing you certainly can't do. I did try the pharmaceutical route. I got to a point that I thought I'll go get actual help and take drugs to try and treat antidepressive drugs, that is, to treat my depression. And that really messed me up because then I realized I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel happy and I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything. I was a complete zombie. I was walking around like nothing. I felt so void of anything. And as humans, we're here to learn and we're here to experience. We're tactile creatures. We're social creatures, and I had to learn to live through the depressive state and find a way out of that dark hole. And sometimes you don't always see a light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of the problems with these pharmaceutical drugs is actually cause suicide tendencies, especially when coming off them. They're highly toxic, they're complete mood destroyers, and I'm pretty much against most pharmaceuticals all the time. But I was in a desperate situation. Then I heard about urine therapy, and urine therapy as a treatment is a natural therapy. It's non-toxic, it doesn't have side effects, and it is such a natural way for your body to get back into balance. And once you get that lift back up, you can work on yourself and then you can work with the elements to try and get yourself out of that really dark space. Now, if it's sort of like, you know, a work environment, you know, people could say, well, just get out of the environment. But that's not always that easy. Sometimes you're stuck in that space that you can't leave. Or if it's a trigger from death, you can't change your environment. You know, you're around those people or you're reminded by those triggers. So it's not always that easy to remove yourself from an environment to get out of there. Why those elements help, like exercise or yoga or meditation, are fantastic. You might have to do that later on when you build up that strength to get yourself back into the road of recovery. Now, the beauty thing about urine therapy, I mean, it has been shown that, you know, it contains substances that help calm and quieten the body. And that's really important. Like if you've got high anxiety because of the depression, or if you're lack of sleeping or you're oversleeping, it helps create the balance. Now, there's things in urine like endorphins. These help calm, these sensory things that help smooth and isolate those essences. Endorphins, melatonin, these all help work with the body. and soften that blow. And most people that talk about doing urine therapy, not even just for depression, but just in general, notice a great shift in their overall well-being with their spiritual connectionness. There's a real certain mindfulness when it comes to drinking your own urine, and you can get in touch with what's going on within your body. And once you see that metabolical change, you can really work with the effects that are happening within the urine treatment. Now, most people are like, oh, yuck, I can't drink my own urine. It's disgusting. It's not great. But I can tell you, being depressed is way worse. There's better things to be than depressed, that's for sure. And it's not always that easy, but I can tell you, you will feel lighter. Your energy and your spirit changes, and people talk about this a lot. I'll put up a link at the end of this video where I talk about, spiritual connectivity with urine therapy and how it opens those other realms. You'll find once you get into that shift, that dark space will take a second seat. You will start to feel more capable to do things in your daily life, whereas before you probably weren't. And it just depends how severe the depression is. Some people have mild depression. Urine therapy works really well with that. It starts making you feel happy again. You start feeling a bit more normal again and a bit more lively again. And, we all go through emotional stages. I mean, I'm glad I'm out of that phase, but I learnt a lot from that. And that was probably my darkest place in my entire life. But from that, I grew strong. And from that, I realized I will never, ever be able to go back in that dark place again, because it gave me a sense of reasoning. It gave me a sense of self-understanding, and that complete awareness made me stronger. So you too can come out of the rut. If you're feeling really depressed or you're really down, urine therapy is one of the most natural processes to help you out of that rut. That the fact is, it gives you time to breathe. It gives you time to reflect and be aware of what's going on within yourself, and giving you the tools to help yourself get out of that rut as well. So sometimes you might be able to get out of that environment at that particular time, but later on when you build up that strength, you can make those conscious shifts to move on or move out or crawl out of that dark space that you were in. Sometimes it takes a while, but the beautiful thing about this groups of urine therapy on Facebook is there's other open-minded, non-judgmental people that are doing this therapy for a host of other things. So I would recommend also joining, if not all of the urine therapy Facebook groups. Have a talk to other like-minded people who can assist you, who have probably been through the same thing and now on the other side, because we want you here at this planet. We all play a vital role. You're just as precious as everyone else in this place, even if you can't see it at any particular time through those dark spaces. We are all here to help each other and go to that next space. So it's a great place to start if you join up in some of those groups. Start drinking, start feeling the conscious shifts. And, like I say, it's the first thing a lot of people talk about when they do urine therapy, how their spirit changes. And that alone is a massive shift in getting you better and getting you out of that dark space and that dark world. Because we're here to help, and urine therapy is a great facilitator to help you grow, release, and learn from your own self. And there's great power to that. So bless you all. Thanks very much for watching. Go in the groups, find out more. Start drinking. Do a glass. Do more if you can. And you will feel and notice that wonderful glow and happiness that will come from inside outside. Enjoy. Thanks.